Well, he says lay it on, little guy, but I'm going to be able to do 2 hits, and he's going to go second phase.
Boy. Look at all those fireballs.
Oh, I forgot. I keep trying to do the Tears of the
If
Kingdom
this was
controls.
FF16, you could have super dodged through them.
It's true.
Like a mediocre game with a worse story.
Wow.
That game's fun.
Where's the lie, though?
That game's
Where's
fun.
the lie?
No, that's the thing. Is that like that game?
Yeah, the combat system's cool.
The combat's good, and there's enough of it. There's enough about that game's production value that I can't say it's bad.
Oh god, he's Morbin.
Like in terms of just playing it and running around and like having fun, it's like yeah, sure, but like yeah, I really am not a fan of the narrative in FF16. It has its moments, but it's not great. And I was like, just the other night, I was playing it a little bit after Joshua went to bed, just like doing some, like polishing off some side quests and wandering around, and I'm like, I wander into a new area that the game has had no reason to send me to yet, right? Like, in fact, I walked through quite a bit of space, and it's like, there are a couple of towns, but they're blocked by like, story says you can't go here.
Hey, Jacob, I need you to be quiet.
Okay.
Holmes.
What the? Oh, that. I thought there would be more like.
No.
It didn't do damage, but it stuns him.
Well, it made him ragdoll.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought there would be an animation that wasn't just ragdoll.
Okay, continue.
I
forgot I had the Master Sword.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, surely he knows what he's doing.
I forgot.
As you walked up to him to spin, I was like, is this gonna do more damage than swinging the Master Sword?
Goodbye.
But doesn't matter. Anyway.
Ouchies.
But no,
He did 1 heart of damage.
Like I walked to an area the other night where I was just like, hey, I'm gonna go and see, what's over here. And like there are a couple of like obvious gateways to towns. They were like, sorry, you can't go in here yet. Story progression currently blocked, right?
Yeah.
But like all of the surrounding enemies were like 5 levels below me. Like I would beat entire encounters with like special move on that guy, special move on that guy, special move on that guy, fight over. And like they didn't even move.
That's the thing is in that game, if the enemy does not have a break bar, they're not a threat.
Yeah.
It's like earlier I encountered a segment where there was a quest going on and they were sending like droves of like 15 of them at a time, and it's like cool, they're dead. It's like I'm getting to use 1 or 2 abilities that completely locks them down, and even when it's like, oh, I'm out, it's like I just have to swing.
Yeah, LAW, FF16 it's unfortunate. It's honestly, it would be, I think, even less aggravating to me if I wasn't familiar with FF14 and didn't know that FF14 does almost everything 16 is trying to do better in terms of its narrative. But it is a game that is, if I make a video about it, it's going to be about like how there's just the game should be 20 hours long, not 40. It feels the need to have open zones and to have side quests and tons of items because that's what an RPG has. But like the main
there are mechanics there that don't need to be there. The blacksmithing stuff, it makes all this really evident where it feels like it's there because it's supposed to be there, but there's no depth to it.
It's like I have 700 of 9,999 potential holdings of like 6 different items that I need like 10 of them to craft anything.
Yeah.
Like
and even then, it's not even like, even though there is a craft and reinforce, it's not the traditional like, oh well, I'm gonna, maybe I can get this and level it up a little bit more. I need to do. It's like by the time you get something, if you've been doing side stuff, you can always just max out immediately.
Yeah.
And all your materials are waste. Except for like hunt stuff.
Unless it's like you need a specific hunt ingredient.
But that doesn't open up till like 50% through the game or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's but
even then, it's such minor incremental.
Joe, you probably wouldn't have seen this because you weren't following that closely. But did you know that Naoki Yoshida repeatedly said that we compare the non-stop adventure of this game, which we compare the pacing of it to a non-stop roller coaster thrill ride. That specific phrasing was used dozens of times throughout the production, and I'm like,
that's not true.
No, maybe it was before you added in all this other
side
stuff.
Quest filler.
And it's like I want to say it's like I think I like this game more than the both of you, but that's because it's like the geopolitical nonsense kind of washes over me because I'm not paying.
And I like it more than Joshua.
Well, Jacob's the one playing it. I'm
Yes.
the one sitting here and just critiquing the story. And the story, they took inspiration from Game of Thrones, all right. They took inspiration from Season 8 of Game of Thrones. The TV show, not the books.
They took inspiration from my toilet paper after I pooped on it.
Oh!
Oh! It's really.
Bazinga,
But that being
bazinga.
said, I will
Sorry,
say
continue.
I'm a little bit further in the game than you, and some stuff that's been occurring has not been inspiring very much confidence. So I am waiting for I'm afraid that there's going to be like 2 reveals of things that I've known since the beginning.
Hold on, we have to talk to one of the best characters in the game. Hey.
Hey,
That's one of the better Phineas. There's a lot of good
What would-
Phineas and Ferb gags.
I wonder what Hudson thinks. We just go,
That's my favorite.
And
then talking to a character in this game and then deleting yourself is excellent. It's really funny.
Would the first time it happened, would they think you died?
Yeah,
Would they think you were a ghost in the first place? Like,
probably.
Dean Weiss says that you were disappointed with the story of 16, but you liked FF7 remake, and then a confused emoji. First of all, I haven't beaten Final Fantasy 16 yet. Second of all, yes.
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 You need to.
So, question for you, Joey, actually, because it's something I'm a little conflicted on. Because I was really impressed with the guy who was playing Clive early on in the game. I thought he was getting a really good performance early on.
Early on, yes.
As it's moved on, he has settled into Christian Bale Batman for all interactions.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's like I'm not even sure how much of that is him and how much of that is the script not giving him much emotion to work with.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's another problem. So
sounds like
I'm dodging spoilers because the game's new.
Yes.
But like, there's also something about it where it's like, how do I put this? His major emotional breakthrough like happens relatively early on, and then he doesn't have another one.
No.
At least not where I've gotten to. And also, the thing he has the emotional breakthrough about is, like, from the audience's perspective, negated.
Yes.
It's odd. It's very strange.
It's like when he's
Ronson.
doing it. I actually noticed that as I was playing later yesterday, where I was just like, I was doing a lot of side quest stuff, and it was virtually the same performance throughout all the side quests.
Because he always sounds like this.
He doesn't sound like that.
Yes, he does.
No, he does. He's fine. It's
He's
just,
a bit different from that. He's more like this. He's
bad.
always very low and a bit gravelly, but he does have a bit more inflection than
Okay,
what
my
you just
bad.
implied.
What's up, Ronson?
It's more like he's whispering. Perhaps it's because he's an outlaw. He doesn't want people to hear him, recognize his voice. There could be a lawman walking by looking for me. I have to be quiet.
Just please, God, read the
Oh
dialogue.
dear God! Oh, for heaven forbid, a lawman comes by and I have to air juggle him for 3 seconds.
Oh, no!
Savolta.
Savolta.
No, and I do want to. I'll be totally real with you, especially because Josh and I are like, okay, let's kind of. Josh and I have got to the point where we're like, let's beat this and play something else. Because Josh was only here for so much longer before he leaves town. So I have taken to mashing through a lot of the unimportant dialogue, like speed.
Some of the side quests have been good.
Speed
They
reading to
have.
get the gist of it. Yeah, some of the side quests are good. Like you were at, I recapped the whole like Otto's backstory side quest for Joshua because that one I appreciated. I was like, that was good. I wish he'd had more character work before this scene.
Yeah, but
it
it's
wasn't
something.
bad.
But
Yeah,
it's something.
And
you know, in a roller coaster
Ouch.
per se, you know, where things are moving really fast,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you wouldn't have time to
Yeah.
have those types of interactions.
it
beforehand.
really feels like the
The game moves so fast.
It feels
bro.
like the game could have lost 10 hours.
I
and
really
it
like
would've
the
been
part
fine.
where you stop for 2 hours, multiple times to go and
Get the
collect
game.
mushrooms.
It's very odd. It's like every time you do one of the big story events, it's like the game goes, whew.
Okay, we
That
need
was-
to stop for
That was
5
so
minutes-
exciting.
for 5 hours.
You gamer need like a 3-hour cooldown, right? Before we start ramping up for the next thing. Well, no, actually, game, the ramp up is the cooldown. You can start ramping up for the next thing now. It's fine. I don't need like, I don't need an additional.
You don't know what
cooldown.
you need, gamer.
That's like it's like being on a roller coaster where you had a big thrilling section of it, right? And instead of now you've got an incline with a chain to build suspense, it's like, whoa! I know your heart.
Halt the roller coaster.
I know your heart couldn't take that suspense right now. So before we do another ramp with a chain, we're just gonna move really slow
It's literally-
over flat track for
It's
a
like
second.
it's like I was gonna say it's like Disney World. It's like if you were going on the Space Mountain ride, and it's like after one hill, it then moves to the people transport that just
The
goes
people
around
mover?
part.
Yeah. Just you take a quick break for a little while. You're like halfway through the roller coaster. You're like, whew, that was rough. Now before the next chain to really build suspense for the next exciting section of the ride, we're just gonna hop over on the people mover for a few minutes. You're like, no, I don't think I will.
But no, I gotta say, like, most of the side quests that I've done, it's like most of these I'm like, okay, I enjoyed that well enough.
It's really not that egregious.
After a certain point in the game, the ones earlier on were not that good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all.
The ones early in the game were terrible.
It's all world building, but it's
Before
also
the time
also
skip.
stuff that I could have inferred.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's stuff where, like, okay, instead of just having a side quest in which people explain to me a little bit about their town, have a side quest where something exciting is happening that also, by coincidence, explains stuff to me about their town.
either have that or just have you're walking around the hub and you hear, like a conversation between two people where it's like it implies something instead.
And like I'm not gonna complain like say FF14 never does this, because FF14 definitely has segments where it's like, yep, that sure is the way life is in this town, and they'll just talk about it. Like it does that. But it also has quests where it's just, no, you observe that's the way these people work by going on a mission with someone and seeing, here's the hierarchy that they follow, here's what they're trying to do. Like, you learn about their responsibilities and the way they live by doing stuff alongside them.
Yeah, sure, it usually
context.
devolves into, we're gonna kill some monsters or some guys, but like, it's not just the same structure every time.
I will say, at least with the earlier ones, especially, like usually it's like if the side quest doesn't have much to say, at least like it's snappy. It's like a good example of a pretty snappy side quest, and like the writing in it wasn't that bad. There's a side quest in like a merchant town where you have to like more like a merchant outpost with like a hotel and again a couple people who live here permanently. Where like it's like a guy's like, hey, I got a really nice vintage of wine. Go and talk to my friends and tell them to come by. Yes.
I'm gonna pour them a glass of wine. And it's like you go talk to like the guy who runs this store, the guy who runs that store, one of the guards, and each of them talks a little bit about like man, my job of doing this and this day in and day out and keeping the town running in this way, it's rough. I'm looking forward to going hanging out with my friends, and it's like, really, this is just a quest saying this is how this town works.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have had like these four dudes doing something exciting, like the four of them working together to stop a bandit or something, so I could learn about their responsibilities. But anyway, Vasak, you need something from me?
Killed him dead.
Jordan Comer asks, from
Like
what you have played / seen, do you like 15 or 16 more?
That's
16.
I mean, 16 is the better game, just
Yeah,
because of the
thing
gameplay.
is, I think I like the boys in 15 better than any of the characters.
There
in
are
this.
no characters in 16.
But like when we booted up 15 for that stream, like it was physically repulsive to me. I don't think I will ever.
It was
ever be able to play that video game again.
I have no interest in it myself, but you did it. You did it. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, now I remember. You flip one of these things over, and now I remember, and it just didn't even register to me. That's excellent, as they say in
He's
Sonic
dead.
Forces.
When are we having our revisit to Sonic Forces?
Like,
You'd say it's too
shut
close.
up! Shut the hell up!
You say it's too...
Stop saying dumbass things!
These are not even making sense. No, I think... I mean... We've talked about the gameplay. The gameplay is good. It's too easy in 16 for the most part.
Here's the thing.
What up?
But
Like,
it's fun.
I missed.
It's fun
I
to
whiffed.
play in 15.
Oh no!
15 is not
I'm making
fun
a
to play
mockery of it.
for
I-
me.
Say again.
Oops.
I was gonna say 16 is fun to play.
Ouch.
15 is not for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I do not have fun playing 15.
I'm willing to bet.
I cannot say that about very many games.
I'm willing to bet that once I have New Game Plus Final Fantasy difficulty,
Yes.
like, here's the thing. If I ever really wanted to, it's like, hey, this is a DMC that goes on for really long. If the harder difficulties are actually hard, I can just skip the cutscenes. But, like, in 15...
It's true. Also, there is. I will say there is one thing that I've unlocked where I'm like, oh, this is actually difficult.
What is it? Oh, the Bloody Palace equivalent?
Sort of.
Okay.
It's there are challenges, and it's
Okay.
like, okay, no, this one's actually like giving me a run for my money. So,
Mm-hmm.
so there's that at least.
But yeah, I don't know. I think, like, I can see a world in which, even if I wind up hating the story of Final Fantasy XVI, which I don't think I will, but even if I did, I could always boot it up and play fun gameplay and run around and listen to
That's
Soken
the
music
problem.
and skip the cutscenes.
Yes.
Whereas, like, with 15, I'm like, I gotta
say
slog... I gotta slog through... What?
The soundtrack's not that great.
No, but it's been fine. But I just mean it's fine. Like the other night when I was playing by myself and I was running around through the desert and he's got kind of, it sounded like an organ theme that's playing in the desert. I'm like, no, it's not like stand out, orgasmic, but it's like, no, this is fine. This is fun. Like I feel this is really chill. Riding around on a chocobo in this desert right now, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. But the idea of like, okay, if I booted up 15, would I be doing it for the gameplay? No. Would I be doing it for the cutscenes? Like, I don't know, 10% of them. Like, I don't think I really have reason to return to that game.
Oh, bones.
Oh, my bone.
Oh, no!
I'll fix it.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, everybody.
Joey kicked the microphone.
I kicked the microphone. And then it just kept moving. It just kept going. That was a roller coaster. What happened to y'all's ears?
Yeah, it was a very sudden like start and stop, and it was thrilling. And then it was over in a timely manner. It didn't overstay its welcome.
Man, 16's story is not very good.
I'm very excited to play Heavensward with you
I'm very excited to play anything other than 16
and you're
for
gonna
a narrative purpose.
You're gonna be astounded. You're gonna be like the guy who wrote FF16. You're gonna be astounded.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake.
Listen, we still haven't beaten it. Maybe
it'll be better, bro.
Maybe something incredible is gonna happen.
Except that almost every review, even the positive ones, tend to be like
the ending.
The ending wasn't great, but I liked the rest of it. I will say that, and this, one of the many reasons that I can't be too upset about the state of FF16 is like, it came.
Coward.
No, but here's the thing: is like, other than COVID, it came out on schedule. It seems to have not had any crazy production issues, and it seems like for better or worse. Like, how do I put this? I can't tell. You don't know what they wanted to do and what they didn't want to do, and this game reeks. This game.
What is that? What in oblivion?
What in oblivion is that?
Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 absolutely reeks.
Sorry, we're interrupting.
Absolutely reeks of JRPG fans will expect this, so it has to be in here.
Yeah.
And in ways that make me feel like the developers didn't want to do it, but they did it because they had to, right? But I also don't see obvious signs of studio interference, which or really like unclear, muddled decision making.
I think the game they made was just mediocre.
Yeah. I think that a lot of it probably... I mean, I really think that a lot of it could have went way better if they cut RPG.
Well, it also didn't help that Sony marketed it as the only thing that can sell their console. Please, God, buy a PS5.
Yeah. But I don't
because
know.
It made it where everyone expected it to be the end-all, be-all.
But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are really enjoying it. A lot of people don't
Good for
care.
them.
A lot of people don't
them.
care that there's absolutely no reason for any of the political leaders in this setting to do the things that they're doing. None of them... Maybe people don't care that, like...
Maybe people don't care that the Emperor is elected, and yet he's able to appoint his 10-year-old son as Emperor.
Whoa, spoilers!
Without him getting elected, even though he was elected in the first place.
Why
isn't it an elected monarchy? It doesn't make any sense!
That's the stupidest thing, because I don't even watch Game of Thrones, but I'm watching it and this happened because somebody watched too much Game of Thrones and didn't know what was going on in Game of Thrones, right?
I'm sorry for picking them.
Like, there's tons of stuff in it around there where it's like, this is so obviously, they watched a scene in Game of Thrones and they wanted to have a scene like that, but they didn't want it to be exactly the same, so they swapped out a lot of the people's positions, and then, but didn't think about how that would affect the makeup of the scene.
Dude, isn't it cool how Cersei Lannister and Tommen are just there? They're just there. Bro, the kid's name
is Joffrey, right?
Well, no, Joffrey's the older brother. He's more like Tommen, the younger brother.
Okay, got it.
He's more like Tommen.
Okay, alright.
Joffrey's like a prick. Tommen is little baby who doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's like when we cut it to the Holy Empire for the first time in that game. Don't worry, I'm not going to say anything that's actually relevant to
Sorry, I spoiled things.
No.
It's stuff that you can call 5 hours in, though,
yeah,
so
it's fine. So, like, no significant spoilers promised. Just a couple of minor items here, right? The first time we cut to the boardroom of the Holy Empire of Sambrique, there are a bunch of men sitting around at a table bickering about, what are we going to do about this problem? and then a guy in the back stands up with a cane, and he's clearly, you know, in a power position because he's sitting by himself, and he's like, "We should do this instead." And all the men are like, "Oh, we can't do that because it would be like this." And then the guy goes, "Well, it doesn't matter because we're going to do it anyway." And I'm like, "Wait, so why were those guys even arguing if this dude just calls all the shots, right?" So we open up the active time lore to figure out what's going on, and it's like those 4 are cardinals of the church, and the emperor is voted from a council of cardinals, and it's supposed to be a ceremonial position, but actually he wields all the power? I'm like, why is that significant? Why is that significant? Why isn't he just the emperor, and these dudes are advisors? Why is it like that? Because, what does it matter that supposedly he doesn't have the power? Because he just does, and there's not a single scene where, like, he says, "Okay, now you 4 have to go out and sell this as if you made the decision," or something like that. So what's the point? Why is that detail there?
Good job, Josh. You freaked out Randy Hart's parrot when you screeched.
I mean, I freaked out myself when I screamed, hence why I screamed. Because I feel like that would have been Link's reaction.
I was a little worried. I mean, it was like I could tell you to calm down because it was too late, but you were like, that was a bit much.
I'm aware.
Too much energy.
I'm sorry.
You're trying to do too much.
Like Pickle Boy.
It's because you had coffee.
Trying to be Hyrule Boy. Trying to be bombing all these trees out here, and you're trying to criticize Final Fantasy XVI at the same time? Trying to do too
story
much.
sucks my balls.
But like,
you need to just play it, and
how many characters are there in the game? How many characters? Joey, tell me how many characters are in the game who are like well developed and
you
good.
will go. Well,
the answer
this doesn't
is 1.
change my opinions, but I'm having
The answer
fun.
is 1.
I have offered to let Joshua play, and he said
but
no.
But instead, he's like, no, I'm gonna stew in my anger and not give this game any credit.
Yes.
It looks really easy.
It is. But it's also fun.
It is fun.
There are some games that are easy and fun.
It's true.
Like Kirby.
And I will say...
And if I want to play Kirby, I'll play Kirby.
I will say what's probably happening right now is I'm developing muscle memory and combos that are going to serve me very well when I go into the hard mode, assuming the hard mode is hard.
All I'm saying is FF7R was fun during a first playthrough, not only because the gameplay was fun, but also because the story was fun.
Joshua, if I play 10 games this year and they're all good, if I play 11 games this year and they're all good, FF16 might not crack my top 10 games list. FF7 Remake was at the top of my list for that year, you may recall.
Yes, he is just Renly! I said that like 2 hours ago while we were playing it! Oh my gosh, thank you! And then he has a guy who's literally just Loris Tyrell. He's right there.
Simmer down, Tater Tot. You gotta calm down.
It's literally Loris Tyrell is there in the scene.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
The same scene happens.
It's not the end of the world.
It sucks my ass.
It's yes, but anyway, what we're getting to is a confusing scene happens where we're not clear on who has authority, and we open up the active time lore, and it makes the situation murkier. And then a little later on, the Emperor just says, "Hey, my 8-year-old possibly invalid son is the Emperor now." But wait, I thought the Emperor was elected. You can just do that? Why? Also, to what end? Because your bitch of a wife told you to? But
she's like Cersei Lannister, bro.
Like, I mean, why does he think did she just say, like, I'm not gonna have sex with you anymore if you don't make my son the Emperor? Like, why is he going along with it? How does it benefit him?
Oh
What's happening?
Anyway, any more discussion on this and y'all are gonna start letting things slip.
It's true. I'm not gonna say anything more. Other than this.
I already made the one spoiler stuff.
Other than this, in Game of Thrones, obviously they all want to get that throne. The throne game they're trying to win is they want a particular throne, right? However,
trying to get that throat.
People are not like I want it for myself. I want to help this person get in that position, or I want to be in an advantageous position when hypothetically whoever wins the throne game, I want to be safe. I want them to be beholden to me.
And basically, at any given time, there's usually only like 3 claimants to said throne. And, like, other people are more just like, oh, I want more autonomy for my region. Or,
so
I want to declare independence.
So the point is, you have all these characters who are talking politics and scheming, but they tend to have diverse and somewhat complex goals. And also, they tend to vary in character. Some of them are truly the scum of the earth. Some of them are nice people. Some of them are pragmatists. All of the political figures in FF16 are evil shitbags. And all they want is land. So there's no point in cutting to rooms where they're having political discussions, because they're all evil shitbags who want to kill other people to get land. So there's no point in cutting to them discussing treaties or should we invade those people or not, because it doesn't matter, because they're evil shitbags who want land.
Yahoo.
Yay.
You got a big party trouble.
It's not good. It's bad.
It's so bizarre that FF14 is in a, like, it is in a genre that is considered to be incompatible with complicated storytelling. And it is like, and it is weaving, even, you know, Josh, like, you know, people are like, oh, A Realm Reborn sucks. The patches are, some people say the patches are worse, which baffles me.
They're not. They're way better.
And, like, I mean, you went through those patches, and, like, I mean, obviously...
As it was going, I was like, oh my gosh, the political thing that's going to happen. I see it unfolding. I see what's happening. Oh no, this is going to go really bad. Oh crap, it went worse than I could have imagined.
But, like, here's this, right? Here's the thing, is that situation, sure, like, if you read actual political thrillers, or, like, you know, history, it's not that crazy.
Well, yeah.
It's not super sophisticated,
yeah.
But by video game standards...
It's good.
It's quite good. Like, I can't think of that many video games that actually have good political intrigue. Okay. I don't know, maybe L.A. Noire?
Yeah.
Like, maybe the last fourth of L.A. Noire? I don't know if that counts, though. It's not quite the same thing. There aren't many video games about statecraft. Other than, like, you know, obviously, like, you know, grand strategy games, but that's not the same thing.
I was gonna say, that's a whole other shebang.
It's just very strange that they dropped the ball so much in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe they realize that nobody does it, so like, we don't even have to bother.
Dude, the funny thing is that the Emperor of the Empire, he has the exact same voice as Tywin Lannister, which is why he abdicates.
Even I've noticed that, and I haven't watched the show
because and that's why he abdicates, is because Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones isn't the guy in the chair, he's the guy behind the chair. So to make it more like Game of Thrones, we need to put his grandson on the throne so that he can be more like the guy in the chair, the guy behind the chair who's there. It's
the guy behind the chair who's there. That's my favorite guy over there at the chair.
It's painful. It is painful.
However, I've got to prepare for the ceremony, so my hands are full. Could you invite them for me? Of course. You're a lifesaver. Excellent. I'm counting on you.
Of course you can.
Of course you can.
I'm sorry, Eric. That was really uncool of me.
I like to believe every time somebody else is introduced to a town, they go through the what the hell just happened, and everybody's like, no. He just does that. It's okay.
You know something else
he
odd?
Just orbs every now.
You know something else odd about maybe I gotta replay it. I mean, literally, we are replaying Final Fantasy VII Remake just very slowly. I haven't worked on it in a little while because we've been working on.
I've played it multiple times.
We're working on another project. So I will say this: the localization on FF16 is pretty good. Like, you know, it was
yeah, it's good.
It was translated into English and recorded in English first. Like the script, it's not bad.
It's like
it is overly verbose. They never say one sentence where 6 sentences will do. And that's a bit of a problem because it does. That's part of why I started mashing through stuff. Was not that it was uninteresting. It's like, okay, I get it. Let's go.
I need to go kill these gerblins.
Where did they? It's nighttime.
It's nighttime. Go to sleep.
Just go sleep in your bed, dude.
Go to sleep. Wake up, Pikachu.
His enthusiasm.
Well, let's listen to this song now.
Point being, him bringing
turn it up.
Really,
Crank it, Shinji.
he was bringing a lot of energy to that wedding with his
Crank it,
confetti.
Shinji.
The song changes the real reward.
Basically adds in leitmotifs for every single town in the game, or for every single, you know.
Because we're creating, much like the Crystalline Dominion, which is supposedly neutral territory governed by a council of representatives from each nation.
That we never see.
But we never see that.
Never once.
I was gonna say like America, but then you just had to put the knife in the throat of FF16. That was awesome.
I have no problem with people who are just like don't really care about video games outside of Kingdom Hearts. That is like a special series that hit people at a particular time in their lives very strong, and they're like, I'm not a gamer, but fine. No problem with that at all, right?
Maybe that's who the carnival like press triangle to win button was for.
Absolutely, 100%.
Look
100%
at the spectacle. Look at this.
The entire design philosophy of the command deck and the reaction commands. Sorry, the situation commands, excuse me, and the command deck is, well, we built this really robust action game with Kingdom Hearts 2, but no one bothered flipping through the menus to use the limit breaks.
Yeah.
So let's just make a button. Let's just put a fun button on screen that you hit, and then the fun thing happens. And that's where all the design choices from Kingdom Hearts 2 onward come from. I'm pretty sure is just lowering the bar of entry on doing the cool stuff, and then designed by a team that just doesn't have the pedigree, unfortunately. But no, like I just said, I think absolutely people were too hard on KH4. And I regret that we were as, bitter about it in our final recording.
Yeah.
We were just being honest. That was just how we felt at the end of a very long recording session. We were let down by it.
Yeah.
But, we don't hate that game.
No, it was not. It was immensely disappointing, but they're still good to
That's why...
But we were, like I said earlier, like Hugh Neutron said earlier, we were caught up in the throes of passion, in the heat of passion, Kingdom Hearts passion.
But, and so, there was a lot of vitriol.
I mean, hell, people, if I didn't like the game, I went out and bought the game after we finished it. I went out and I bought the game.
And platinumed it.
Platinumed the game after we beat the game. Mm-hmm. I did that because I wanted to. I wanted to go back through, having full knowledge at this point, and I wanted to play the game because the game was fun to play.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't as good as 2 to play, but honestly, how many action games are as good as 2? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this is that's part of what we were talking about on that, or rather what Bloody was talking about on that stream. I keep saying I was on there. I was in chat for half of it.
Controversial opinion coming out. 3's gameplay was more engaging than Final Fantasy XVI's.
Maybe. I'd have to think about that a little bit. I think that how about this?
I think
16 got long in the tooth faster. I'll definitely agree with that.
For certain.
I think that playing 16, watching me play 3, going back and watching that footage, I am floundering. I am blocking nothing. I'm getting hit. I'm getting juggled uselessly. And I'm am I just bad? Or is the game doing a very bad job of communicating to me?
Right.
In 16, I'm dealing with readable bosses.
Yes.
I've got a satisfying dodge. When I get hit, I feel like it's my fault.
Circlebot says, no, don't say that. I just bought it. No. 16's a good game.
In 16
is a good game. I just have it as somebody who is an action game enjoyer who enjoys a little bit of a challenge with this game. I don't necessarily enjoy everything being like a beat stick. And
so I was watching I was cleaning out share footage from my PS5.
Uh-huh.
And I went back and
I think the bosses in 16 were way better than the ones in KH3, but that's apples to oranges.
Except for the fact that they were all twice as long as they should have been.
Correct.
Every single fight in that game. So this is what I was about to say.
Correct.
Is I was going and watching. Hold on.
Oh God, what's he doing? What's he doing? No spoilers since we've got somebody in the chat who just got the game. Oh my gosh, he's crazy with it. If you land on what you're looking for, it's gonna be nuts. Astrobot.
That's Playroom.
Yeah.
So that was what I bought when I got. That was what I had when I bought my PS5, and then a few days later, 16
Jacob,
came
you're
out.
a freak. How did you do that?
No, because look.
Okay.
Acquired PS5.
Okay. I thought you were. Yeah. Okay. The logic is there. I get it. I thought you were just completely.
Final Fantasy 16, Modern Warfare 2, which was packed in with the PS5 that I bought.
Okay. I thought you were completely freeballing.
No, it is not. No freeballing here. I don't know. This may have vague spoilers. If I can, where's a good one that maybe doesn't
go
have
for the
vague
earlier
spoilers?
stuff.
Hold on. I have less from earlier in the game is the trouble. There's one? Did I delete it? This one probably is just gonna be fine, honestly. Let's just go find any fight.
Yeah.
Any fight. All right, I'm level 36 fighting level 30 jobbers, and I'm using my strongest moves.
You'll hand over your coin if you know what's good for you.
What's happening?
They're all a little confused. That was too strong for them.
Wow.
I didn't watch this clip. This probably isn't the right one to be doing. It was a specific clip I wanted to show, but it just might have stuff in it that people might consider a little sensitive. But just like the point, like every enemy in this game is too strong. Like there's gonna be footage later where I'm like level 40. There's footage of me as at level 46. This guy.
When you say too strong, you mean has too much health. Not,
yes, no, not
too
yes,
strong.
no, okay, yeah, excuse me. Let's be very
Because
clear.
this is that was a great example of a different problem that we're not talking. Well, when I say
different problem.
When
yeah.
I said enemies are just beat sticks, this is exactly what I meant. It's like there was no threat at all there.
Level 33, I'm level 38. I'm gonna stagger him and hit him with my best stuff. Let's see how long it takes for this bar to go down.
And the thing is, like,
Wow, I reduced his bar by a quarter.
it's like, and the thing is, like, you can have that be satisfying, right? It's like you can have longer fights in a game be satisfying. Dark Souls games are like that. Monster Hunter's built around that. But the problem is that it's like, it's not compelling because in this case, it's like, typically speaking, there's not like a threat. Like, the fight takes forever and there's not a equal threat or reward to go with it. When every fight in the game is just a no threat. It's the equivalent of a bullet sponge, right?
Yeah. It's MMO design.
Yeah.
It's MMO design in an action game. This is my trouble. Is like I think FF16 is like movement-wise basic combat strings good. Like the dodge is very satisfying. Enemies like are super readable.
The game actually does feel very, very fun to play.
Like this is like look, I'm underleveled fighting a rare mark that I accidentally stumbled upon. The reason I saved this was because I stumbled upon this guy, and even though I was 10 levels underleveled, I just skilled it out.
Yeah.
And this I saved this because this was a good fight and I enjoyed it. It was maybe still too long, but I didn't blame myself too much. I didn't blame the game for that because again, I was 10 levels underleveled. This was also before I'd completely turned on the game.
Yes.
But, like, moves are telegraphed. You can dodge them. You have really good iframes on a dodge. If you get perfect dodges, you get advantage. If you parry, you get advantage. And there are, like, understandable ways to, like, get an advantage in a fight. The problems with it are a couple. Number one, this is a Devil May Cry-like where all of your moves are on cooldown, which means you don't want to use them unless the enemy is staggered.
You
have moves that
you want to use them at the very beginning of the fight and then wait for the cooldown to come back up for when you're going to stagger them and then blow it all at once.
And in the meantime, you're just using your normal strings and like a handful of your cooldown moves that cool down fast enough that you can risk using them during the normal fight because you're not too worried about squeezing them in during the stagger phase anyway.
But Jacob, you're metagaming.
Shut the hell up.
But Jacob, you're
The meta, it's not just, it's, what do you mean, it's like,
But you're metagaming.
doing more damage while the enemy is staggered,
But Jacob,
metagaming,
Jacob,
shut the hell up.
You're not going into this in good faith, Jacob.
Am I not?
You're metagaming the fun out of it.
I'm metagaming the fun out of it.
So, speaking of metagaming the fun out of it, towards the end, so this is I would argue the problem that you're describing now is a problem that's only prevalent for the first half of the game, which turns into a new problem in the last half of the game,
Okay.
barring boss fights.
This
okay?
is Final Fantasy 16 review
This is
now.
Final Fantasy 16.
We never did a Final Fantasy 16 discussion. It's
We did.
on, baby.
Yeah, this is purely. We're talking. I'm limiting this to mechanics. We're not talking about narrative or characters. We're talking purely mechanics. Okay, for this discussion, I would say the problem is.
See there, I got hit there because I'm stupid. It said dual cast. I should have known there was another move coming, but I followed up instead of getting ready to dodge again. That's what I'm talking about. This game is readable.
Yes, but I was gonna say, to be fair, like. At the beginning, while this was a little bit annoying, I kind of missed this towards the end of the game because while on topic of, like, I was joking about metagaming because it feels like if you're not doing that, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
How else are you engaging with the combat because it's not difficult enough? Like, the only time it's difficult is, like, this where you're 10 levels under.
Yeah, and it's like you're watching me circle strafe here, and like part of that is that I'm 10 levels under, and I'm trying not to get killed because he can hit me pretty hard, so I'm being really cautious. This is an enemy I haven't fought before, so I'm trying to keep my distance and read him.
Yeah.
But also, like, unlike a DMC, where I could, like, see an opening and then rush in and, like, do combo, I'm like, well, I don't want to use my cooldown moves, because I want to use them when he's staggered.
Yeah, which is a fundamental problem that you run into. But like I said,
If all enemies had like a fourth of the health that they have and we removed the stagger mechanic, probably would have been a significantly better game.
So, and here's the thing, like, we're complaining about this. By the second half of the game, these hunts that actually had a decent amount of HP was genuinely about the only enjoyment I was actually getting out of combat.
Yeah.
Because once you get about halfway through the game, a little bit further, once you understand the mechanics, you get enough of your points to get the skills you want, the skills upgraded, and you've got enough variety under your belt. The last half of this game, everything except
look at that. Look at how
Yeah.
clean the iframes on this dodge
Yeah.
are. There's real action game sauce to this that KH3 sometimes does not have.
Correct, for sure.
That's so clean.
Yeah, it's super cool. But what I was going to say is, in the last half of the game, your like standard encounters that are not bosses and are not hunts don't exist. And what I mean by that is you, as the player, erase them. You're too strong.
Yeah.
And it's
That's one of the videos I was going to pull up, but it's maybe too late game. It might be considered spoilery.
Yeah. So, like I was telling you, I won't say, I won't give the specific names, but basically I had a loadout that was, the first bar is basically exclusively for if I'm fighting a boss. The second two bars are pure screen wipe bars. This is how, bless you, this is how the gameplay looks at the later at the later half of the game. I'm walking forward. I have X equipped. Okay, the fight starts. I use X. Everybody is dead. The next wave of people come in. I swap over. I use C. Everybody's dead. Fight's over. And that's it. The only bit of gameplay in between those is sometimes one of those you have to build up a certain way. So if you blew it and then the fight's over immediately, then the next fight you have to build it up for like 10, 15 seconds and then use it and wipe the screen.
And I'm like, and on the difficult fights against like mid bosses or actual bosses, you have what I'm seeing here, which I'm sure if we went and like talked to an actual combo fiend, like probably it wouldn't look like this. But for me, it's all about just like doing chip damage until I get them staggered and then optimizing this rotation.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So the enjoyment, and that's the thing, it's funny. It's like, this is a complaint in the early game that turns into the most enjoyment I had in the late game. The most enjoyment I had would be, I'm in a new area, there's an S-class hunt. Oh my gosh, it's got 300,000 HP. That means it can survive a single stagger combo. Cool. And it turns into how much, like, finding enemies that have enough health so that I can actually see how big I can get the number before it's dead. Because most of the time, in the middle of being staggered, you're unleashing everything and it's just dead. So it's like, the big ones at the end. I remember there was one fight that I actually was convinced was the last hunt, only to realize that the game kept going and there was a lot more. But I did it way under leveled, and all of its moves were killing me in 2 hits, and it could survive my all-out barrage, and that was the most fun in the game I had, because it was like, there's a real threat here, and once it gets staggered, I can go all in and see how much I can do.
Where's the clip I'm looking for? There's a specific clip I want to find. I can't see it. Maybe did I delete it on accident? I hope I didn't. It was very funny.
But anyway, much like the Kingdom Hearts discussion, that is to say, the game does feel good to play. It actually does feel good to play. It's just like, if you're going into it like being a fan of a Devil May Cry or a game that actually demands stuff from you, you'll get bored with this game eventually, because there is a better, harder difficulty, but it doesn't unlock until New Game Plus. It should have been there from the beginning. That being said, we say that, and if it was available at the beginning, then we run into the other issue of, well, everything's just a sponge still.
Yeah.
But it's like that thing being a health sponge at the beginning of the game is less of an evil to me than fights just evaporating.
One of the things we were talking about on that stream with Night Sky Prince was the fact that, like, Square needs to stop making concessions to, like, don't worry, RPG fans, don't be intimidated by this action game. We've made it accessible for you. They just make a good action game.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in a no man's land.
Well,
Anyway,
I was talking about this earlier. It's like...
this guy's funny.
He is funny. This was before the stream, but it's like... I think, like, the idea of... Like, it's coming from... Well, I was going to say it's coming from a good place. It's coming from we need as many people to buy this as possible, so we don't want to alienate the audience.
Sure.
But the non-cynical version of that answer is...
And then he disappeared.
Yep.
He died.
The non-cynical version of that answer is we don't want to alienate people. We don't want the game to be too hard that nobody can play it, or that people that are maybe not so good at action games can't play it, so we want to add concessions in there. In my opinion, that concession is put in easy mode in. Put like an actual, put like a real easy mode. Do the Kojima thing.
FF7 Remake has its classic
very
mode.
Very easy.
FF7 Remake has classic mode, and I would love to see numbers on how many people ever used it.
Yeah. I'm sure that'd be funny.
Wasted dev time. Absolutely wasted.
But it's like, but that's the thing is you don't need special concessions. You don't need, like, here are the special rings that play the game for you for the people. Like, make the game, give it the baby mode. That way, if somebody needs to play it at the baby mode,
those,
they can.
I mean, those are like...
It's like, don't waste your dev time. Don't waste...
Using those as accessibility options,
yeah,
fine.
That's cool.
But
but don't make it a...
No, it's a problem with the marketing. Because if you're going on presentations and saying, don't worry, if you're intimidated by this game...
I do remember the accessories, Yash Kapoor, but that wasn't enough. The base game was too easy, too, even without the accessories.
If you are too intimidated by this action game, don't worry.
We'll give you
we have the special thing for you. It's like, why tell them to be intimidated?
Yeah. Don't.
Why even say, if you're scared of an action game, don't worry. You're not going to make them buy it. Just say, don't be like, this action game may be too hard for you, but don't worry. We put in stuff so you too can spend $70 to play a game you don't want to play. Tell them why it's fun.
Hey, do you suck at video games? Do you suck? Are you garbage? You should be scared of this game. Here, don't worry though. We've got these. Here, you know what? If you want to
pay
make it
$70 for an experience we're telling you isn't for you, but don't worry, we put a thing in it to make it for you.
I was gonna say
to make it not the thing that it is.
Here's my solution. Don't market it like that at all. And this is my solution if you change nothing about the game except for the marketing. And you add like one thing. You don't say that, and you put the game in, and you play. And if you die 3 times and quits a session on a fight, the game drops the accessory into your inventory and says, hey man, is this a little tough for you? Put these on until you get a better feel for the game.
Yeah.
And
don't do like an entire dedicated presentation where they're demonstrating how the rings work.
No.
Nobody's going to want to buy the game because they see that. There's not a single person who was like, I don't know if I want to buy Final Fantasy 16 because it looks too hard, and then went, oh, never mind. Now that I know I can spend $60 to not play the game, now I really want it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to worry about this if you were just... This part of what I talked about on the stream was like, if you were just putting out a PS1 throwback, pre-rendered backgrounds, turn-based game every 3 years, this wouldn't matter. You wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, and once again, I want to make this clear. It's like, this is not there's no aspect of this conversation that's like, well, these people just need to get better. It's fine if you're having a hard time with it. I just like the accessories that they give you, like, for that. It's like, I don't understand how you could have fun playing like that, but whatever. Maybe you just want to do it for the story.
Yep.
I know a lot of people that are very invested in the story and the characters. I don't interact with these people online because I would just make them mad.
We talking about Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy?
Anyway.
So
in conclusion, the game's pretty fun.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is breezy and fast, and I never got bored playing it except for specifically, like, I got annoyed with a couple of boss fights where I just felt like I was getting pushed around, but it didn't matter because I still never died. I still finished them in a fast pace. And I was bored during the ending because I found both the fights and the storyline to be uninteresting. But all the fights were over in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas
I guess the fights were over in 2 minutes, and also the game's a lot shorter, and you're also getting a lot more differentiating things in combat. Every world gives you a new Keyblade that has at least one form that changes the way you play.
Yeah, like there's no
there are little things here and there to keep you. I mean, It's why they have
you
turret
never-
segments in Call of Duty. It's little things that change up the gameplay.
You
a
never
little
hit
bit
a
to
you
keep
never hit a
engaged.
fight in FF16 and go, oh man, I better change my loadout.
Never. You know, hey, you know what that? No, actually, Jacob. Sorry, you're wrong, Jacob. You know
Okay.
what that is?
What is
you
that?
hit a fight where you're trying a new loadout, and you go, I'm not doing as much damage as I was doing earlier.
I already optimized the fun out of this system.
I need to go back to the other loadout.
The fact that like so yeah, your comment about 3's more fun, I think that's probably true, because in 3, like, okay, I fought a couple of enemies for 30 seconds, now I'm gonna like walk through a fun cartoon zone for a little bit, maybe a slight platforming element, like not really, but like a little bit. I'm gonna do a boss fight that takes 30 seconds, and oh cool, I got a new form. They maybe, even if it's a recolor of an old one, they still tended to like have a new visual element that was neat to them. Whereas in 16, it's like, okay, after doing a giant open world zone where there is nothing to find and I can fight enemies, now it's time to do an action stage that goes on for 40 minutes where I fight mobs with the same moves, and then I fight a mid-boss with the moves, and then I fight more mobs, and then I fight a boss using the same moves, and the boss goes on for 3 hours, even though I'm kicking his ass.
I almost wonder if the game would have been better if I just completely ignored all side content.
Absolutely, it would have been.
Like I don't even mean for the ignore. Like I don't even mean for the time saving. I mean for the like. I feel like it'd probably be more balanced for that.
See, I don't know. Actually, I disagree, because then I'm thinking about the fact that like I am still bullet sponging for 6 hours and I'm 15 levels over.
It's true. I think like we both have different like mirror issues with the combat where like we both agree with where the other one's coming from, but it's like I think I had more fun with the bullet sponge stuff than I did with the I'm just gonna wipe the screen. Stuff
Dean
later
says
on,
the last ATB FF game was 15 years ago. The last true turn-based FF was 23 years ago. Why are they still appealing to these people? They don't exist. They haven't been buying the games in a decade. Who cares then? Dean, this is what we were talking about on that stream the other day, was there were people in the chat who were shouting angrily. They do exist, Dean. They were saying Final Fantasy sucks now. They need to stop trying to appeal to a new audience. They need to put the based back in turn-based combat.
this is a completely different discussion, but I think back to those accessories that kind of play the game for you, and it makes me think in Final Fantasy 15 there is an optional dungeon that doesn't even count for trophies. I just did it, but there's an optional dungeon that is like it's the worst thing in the game because it's
Is this the
not
platforming dungeon?
platforming dungeon.
Yeah.
Your reward for going through this hellscape of garbage platforming in a game that's not for platforming is you get an accessory that it's like, with this equipped, you automatically dodge attacks. I didn't put that on because I was like, well,
The game's over.
It's like, what the fuck else am I going to do?
That dungeon's post-game content. You can't get there until you have the flying car.
Yeah, you're right. But even then, like, I had that and I was like, well, cool. Here you go. You don't have to play the game.
That's
now.
my point.
And it's like, like,
I wanted to play the game. That's why I did this stupid dungeon.
It's like,
because I want to play the game.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, jeez. Jeez. Man, Alan Wake's a good game.
They talked about this for 4 hours. Well, I don't know. I talked for some of the 4 hours, but Square they should make turn-based games again.
Yes.
But they should make them for an audience of 2 million people. Basically, the thing we were getting at is like they're selling games, their market is shrinking, they're not attracting new people. And part of the problem is maybe you tried 15, maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't like it, but you had to wait 5 years for the next one to come out.
Yep.
Somebody earlier said, we're talking about Final Fantasy having an embarrassing release date, but somebody in the chat said, but then again, Stranger of Paradise, FF7 Remake, Rebirth, and 16 have all come out since the last KH game. First of all, that dude is forgetting Melody of Memory and mobile phone games,
Yuck.
but that is, but I still appreciate his point.
Yeah.
However, like Remake came out like immediately after KH3, basically. It was like barely a year later. And Rebirth is very much built off the bones of that first game. Like, it's actually a fairly impressive turnaround considering how much content is in that game, that they made it as quick as they did. And I hope that they turn around Part 3 even quicker and build even less new stuff. Because basically the problem is they are not attracting new users, so the market is only shrinking. Where even people who like action games, like Joey and I, are going, I don't really like 16 all that much. And people who don't like action games are going, there's nothing for me here. And normal people, especially young people, do not know the Final Fantasy brand. There has been nothing to service them. There has been nothing to attract them to the property. And unlike in the late 90s or even early 2000s, where you could go 12, 10, 11 is an MMO for a totally different audience. The Crystal Chronicles sub-series, Tactics Advance A2, the compilation of FF7, the Kingdom Hearts series, then Final Fantasy XII. Like now, it's like 3 years between anything, and if you didn't like that one, then why would you waste $70 buying another one? They need to have the team. What I pitched on the show was Creative Business Unit 1 needs to exclusively build off what they've done with Remake. They need to keep that combat system and make Final Fantasy 17 or 18. It's working, it's good, just iterate on that. Don't burn it, don't reinvent the wheel, just do that again.
They're doing the thing that I get so annoyed that like Sega and I say Sonic Team, I don't think it's Sonic Team anymore, but what they did, which like has pissed me off for over a decade now, which they maybe if the new game is just like built on the bones of Frontiers, maybe it'll finally break through. But it's like they put these games out and it's like, here's a new system, some things work, some things don't, here's the next game, we're not using anything that we learned. It's like
Absolutely.
Just do it again but better.
And Sonic isn't waiting 6 years to release new games. But what I talked about on the show was like Business Unit 1 needs to keep making games like FF7 Remake, but they just need to make new titles after they're done with the trilogy. But they need to stick with that design philosophy and that team. Just move straight on another one. Recycle as many assets as they can. Who cares? Because if these games are only selling like 3 million or less, then you need to be budgeting them for an audience of 3 million or less, not assuming you're going to leap back to 5 to 10 million units sold. And if you make a lot of games frequently, then maybe like in 10 years you'll be back to 10 million units sold. You won't be, but maybe you'll get to like 5 million.
Maybe if they make the games as good as they think they're making them, they will, and the audience gets there. But
and let's Circo Duck, we talked about Bravely Default and that team, and basically I was saying, why aren't they making games called Final Fantasy to help build that brand? And I got some pushback on that during the stream, but I stand by my guns. Final Fantasy can be anything it wants to be. So when that guy's like, I want to make my own new IP about people who change job classes and crystals, like, okay, just make it Final Fantasy. You don't even have to call it White Mage. You can call it something else. Final Fantasy has changed its job names before. Like, who cares? Just call it Final Fantasy. So then the Nintendo crowd that has 3DSs is like, what's this game? I've heard about Final Fantasy for years. What's Final Fantasy? Play Final Fantasy subtitle Bravely Default. It should have a better subtitle, but let's say it's called that. Oh man, I love Final Fantasy. I should really check out the other ones instead of going, Bravely Default's cool. When's the next Bravely Default? They're clueless. They're absolutely clueless on how to build their brand right now. And the Creative Business Unit 3 team, they need to keep making action games. They already poached the Devil May Cry designer, so it's not like they can just like throw out all the work that team did making that type of game. They need to make a game like 16 that's better
and shorter,
way shorter. If they're going to appeal to action fans, it needs to be like 20 hours long. And it actually needs to be the roller coaster they marketed it to be. And then they need a team. Then they need a team making turn-based games. They need a team making low-budget, fixed camera turn-based games, and that team needs to be releasing a game every 2 to 3 years.
I still stand by what I told you months ago when we were discussing 16, where it's like, and I said I'm not going to get into the story, so I'm not getting into specifics, but needless to say, we were disappointed by the narrative of it, and I was saying, they could, like, if the narrative wasn't going to be as strong as we thought it was going to be, they could have still saved the game by cut the time down. And like I was saying, like, and even these segments are not without flaws, but I was still thinking like the Titan segment followed by the Bahamut segment. I was like, this progression is awesome. Have one, like, cut down the fluff in between. Have those two segments and have one final bombastic segment right after it. Right?
Yeah.
And the games, and it's like take it, like, stop.
Every time 16 starts building momentum, it stops.
Yeah, and I was
every
gonna say,
time you're excited and you're back on board, it says now go take a nap for 5 hours. It's insane.
If after the Bahamut segment, if like they would have gone full on like trigger bombastic, like Kill a Kill, Gurren Lagann, we're pushing this to the absolute limit. We're getting goofy with it. Let's just go. Let's make this hype. You know, if they would have just done that, because you can do that in action games.
Yes, but
they
are.
And I would have turned away from me complaining about the narrative as much as
5 gil.
I do to you.
I picked up 5 gil. That's why I saved this clip. Is because I go out of my way to pick up a pickup when I'm level 31 and it's 5 gil.
Yes, sir.
Because fuck this game.
But it's like I said, it's like if it, and this is not to say that like that the story of Kill a Kill or Gurren Lagann is bad. It's absolutely not. They're phenomenal.
The point is that 16 was not playing to the strengths that it actively had.
Yes, if they would have been like, okay, we're going, like if they would have just not even dialed back the narrative, if they would have just focused on making it cool instead of sucking and just going over the top, I would have really appreciated that. That way, by the end, I could have been like, well, some of those things didn't work, but who cares? Because whatever. We're fighting Ultima on the moon or something, right?
Exactly.
It's like, we just do Sonic Adventure 2 again. We have, like, Ultima's got, like, the moon and he's bringing it towards Earth, and we got to use the power of all of the icons to stop it. Some garbage.
This is
right?
like, well, no, this is something I didn't get to in the stream the other day, but if I make the video I want to make, called An Open Letter to Square Enix that I want to talk about.
Tingale, woo!
Everybody bitched. What was the main complaint with Final Fantasy XIII? Too linear.
Mm-hmm.
Why does FF16 have an open world? Why does it have all these side quests? It is actively detrimental to the things that are strong about FF16. Because people hated it when we didn't have an open world. People hated it when we didn't have side quests and towns. Everybody was screaming in FF16, no real towns. It's not an RPG without towns. They didn't know what they're talking about. RPGs don't need towns. What are you talking about? You need other activities. You need to be not just walking down a straight line and then doing turn-based combat, because turn-based combat isn't engaging enough for that. But the problem was not that the game didn't have towns, or that it was linear. All Final Fantasy games are linear, and then you can delude yourself into walking the other direction and achieving nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway.
Enemy bested, I defeated Square.
Yeah, FF16 is a pretty fun game, though. Once again, we wouldn't be having this discussion if we didn't have high expectations for it. But we did, and I did, and I was disappointed by it, and that's why it has kind of soured it for me.
Oh, this is funny.
Dweedle. Do they normally not let you do this?
I think they normally don't, no.
Okay.
I think that was why it stood out to me.
Listen, dude, I've played Monster Hunter for years, and let me tell you, once the monster's dead, there is no collision. Until the new game! They're finally adding dead monster collision for some reason.
Here we go.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah!
I think the other issue is I mean, this goes... This goes into the identity crisis of this game, of them being like, well, we want to appeal to everybody. It's like, this game was not an RPG.
No.
This game advertised itself as an RPG. This game was not an RPG at all. You, like, the gear that you find is so incremental. There's, like, 3 things in the game that actually matter. One of those you were using earlier, and you probably don't even remember you had it equipped.
What was it?
When you were fighting the slime, like, you know how you're like, oh man, that dodge was so clean. That's not how dodges usually work.
That is an equip. Yeah, I know that's an item. Yeah, that's an item you equip to give yourself a basic functional part of the moveset.
That is, it's so funny how that item is the best item in the game. You get it a little bit, like, you get it like 15 hours in, and it will never come off, because there is nothing in the game that is even remotely close to being as good as it is.
There's been a lot of talk in chat, and I do want to read some of it, because I want to hear other people's takes on this. We'll just leave Clive here first. Actually, I'm going to turn the lights back on, and I'm going to turn the webcam on. And
Okay.
We'll leave Clive in the corner while we're talking. As long as we're doing this. We'll definitely beat Alan Wake today, guys.
But first we got to bitch
today.
more about games we like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably need to play 16 again, but I had an app like Joshua hated it, and I played it all with him, so that certainly affected my feelings on it.
I obviously like it more than y'all do, but
let's see here. Problem is they've reshuffled the business divisions after like every game release. Yes, they need to not do that anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think that should be the strategy? Last scene of 16 was the only time I said F you out loud to a game while I was playing it. The only time I've done. I think I did that in Kingdom Hearts 3 when Mark Scene said, my secret. I think I said F off.
I think you did, yeah.
By the way, we still don't know what her secret was, because guess what? After that, she had like 5 minutes of screen time in the mobile phone game.
Don't worry about it. Wait.
Onimax played, I like Square having new IPs, but more FFs would be cool too. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with Square having new IPs, like Foam Stars. Joey and I are the number one fans of Foam Stars.
Yes, sir, even though I haven't touched it since it released.
We're the number one fans.
I played 3 matches.
We played a lot more than that in the beta.
We did.
We were the kings of the beta.
We were.
We were the experts.
Nobody had more fun in the beta than we
Nobody
did.
had more fun in the Foam Stars beta than you and I. Nobody wrung more fun out of that piece of shit than you and I did.
For real.
I don't have a problem with Square making new IP. The problem is that as long as they are budgeting the Final Fantasy series like it's the most popular thing in the world, which they still are, then they need to be working harder to build the brand, which means they need more Final Fantasy games. Now, if they started budgeting Final Fantasy games so that they would turn a massive profit if they sold 1.5 million units, fine. They have to lower their image of their own standards is the main thing.
Hey, here you go. Make the next one with the graphics of World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, Joey, that didn't get to talk about that on the stream. That was children outreach. That was trying to get young people to play the game. That's why it was on PS4 and Vita and not Nintendo Switch.
Okay. I barely know anything about the game, and I wasn't even really talking about the chibi aspect. I was just talking about that it's like, here, this is a stylized...
It's a budget title.
This is a budget stylized game that looks like a good-looking, like, PS2 game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as it's like, it looks cartoony, but it's like, you don't even have to do chibi with that. You can just make it a highly stylized, like, bright, color poppy game.
Yeah. Okay, so
doesn't take $1 million to make the graphics.
Because they're not. Because that's what I talk about.
But the problem, of course, Jacob, how we're so stupid. Jacob, that game's not really going to benefit from the PS5 Pro.
Dude, you make a good.
Oh
you make
my
a solid
gosh,
argument.
it all makes so much sense.
You make a solid argument. No, this is what I talked about on the stream: is that they need to stop giving a shit about their graphics because they're getting their ass kicked. By everybody else, so it doesn't matter.
If you,
it doesn't matter. Shut the hell up. You're not the top of the heap visually.
I think there is a slim possibility that a hero could exist. Okay. I think somebody could get up there to the people that are like, we gotta have the best graphics. I think they could say, you're right, but that's not what it means anymore. It's not about graphics. It's about style. And show games like,
Honkai
Star Rail, show Borderlands, show like NIS games.
Yeah.
And just be like, see, these games, like, it's
but that's not the Joey. The brand is that we are photorealistic and the best. That's the whole point. That's what we have over Dragon Quest, Joey.
That's why I'm saying, but
they're not going to listen.
You're right.
They're not going to listen.
I'm not the guy convincing them. Okay,
Yeah,
they'd see me and then they'd throw me out the window.
This is.
I'm saying get a charismatic person that cares about this stuff in there and trick those old dinosaurs into being like, no, you don't understand. There needs to be a good example. There needs to be like a cartoon style Call of Duty come out.
Yeah.
And then they can be like, see, look at that.
Yeah.
I think it's
over. You can already point to Persona and the Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Saga. Like that's it.
Yeah. But
ask them how much money are you making off of the microtransactions on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius? Oh, you canceled it. How much money are they making off of Honkai Star Rail?
Too much. The money keeps printing.
The money
Show me the money.
The money is flowing off the shore of China. They cannot contain it within the country.
Much like Power World, we can't. We're making too much money. We don't know what to do with all this money. Except they.
I'm making too much money. I do like all the people at the hideout game hamstrings in a sense of momentum by kicking you back after every major mission. Yeah, and imagine if you didn't like the people back at the hideout, like my brother did. 13 is the best FF game because of it, I guess because of the linearity. Dean said, "You're so right, Jacob. 16 and 15 were direct responses to crappy 13 criticism, the same way 3 is a direct response to crappy 2 criticism." Yep. One of the guys on the stream the other day said, Clark said, Square, stop listening to your fans. Yeah. And a bunch of people in chat got really salty, but I understood what he meant, and he was correct. Trust your artists, not fans who don't understand what you're trying to do. Like, on one hand, 13-2 is like a much more open, big game in a response to 13's criticism. But, like, they're like, oh, well, it has to be open world. It has to be this long. It has to have 700 side quests. Like, no, it doesn't. That wasn't the problem with 13. People bitched about no towns. It's not a real Final Fantasy game with no towns. What are you talking about?
Even back then.
What do you mean?
Even back then, what was a real Final Fantasy?
Yeah. 13 felt like an action game to me. They've been trying to make action games for years. The active time battle system was a concession to they really wanted to be making action games.
And they figured it out with 7 Remake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's good. That's it.
The reason you like Squall in FF8 is you see him and go, man, that guy's cool. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Is like you like him both in 8 and think he's cool, and you like him in Kingdom Hearts and think he's cool.
Yeah.
In World of Final Fantasy, you go, oh, it's another one of these chibi characters. I guess I'm supposed to know who this is.
Yeah. This one looks like Zack because it's a chibi character wearing a dark outfit with silver hair. Complete
like that was like I don't know, like World of Final Fantasy was like a reasonably budgeted game and it was for fans, so that's fine. But like my point is, it shouldn't have been just for fans. It should have been a Final Fantasy outreach program. 16 is not the best looking game. 7R kind of is though. Yeah, that's the thing. I really like one of my first like moments before 16 came out was Naoki Yoshida, noted proponent of Square needs to stop being worried so much about graphics. Final Fantasy 14 1.0 was bad because of the graphics. In an interview like a month before 16 came out, he was like, "Yes, stellar cutting-edge graphics are an important pillar of the Final Fantasy series." I was like, "No! They got to him! There's somebody off screen pointing a gun at his head!"
It's really funny because that does not come through at 16.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Not that the game looks bad. It doesn't look bad.
No, here's my thing, right? If you're gonna do your BioWare cutscenes where you just got the lip flaps and waxy faces, right? Why not just do gorgeous character art and text boxes like Persona?
Yeah.
Like why like you're like, okay,
because Jacob, it's cheap.
Exactly.
Is what they say.
Yeah, but
it's
your
cheap.
concept art is amazing. You guys have some of the best artists in the business drawing characters. I talked about when I was
I'm just imagining like the actual like I'm thinking of like the official like job art of like 14. It's like imagine that as like you said, the visual novel style text box. God, that'd be good. That'd be nice.
Say that again, sorry?
I was saying like I forget the artist's name, but the guy that does like the like a lot of the official 14 art.
Sure,
like
if he was doing character portraits.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be crazy. That goes crazy hard.
If I can find it, it was in my video Are Good Graphics Killing Good Games, which was, I'm gonna guess off the top of my head, 6 years ago, but let's find out as I go and find it and click on it.
Onimax Blade says people often have valid
6 years ago, nailed it.
Nice. Often have valid feelings about games but have no idea how to criticize them, identify problems. Pat was talking about that on the podcast recently, talking about like, ask like a COD bro that only plays like COD and Madden why he likes Call of Duty. And it's like he can't articulate. He'll just be like, it feels good to play the game. And it's like, well, it's a snappy, like stable game. And it's like, yeah, it's one of those things. It's like that's a very broad example. It's like I'm pretty bad about this. Of like, I try to convey feelings more than I can convey like actual like, this is a problem because this is a very stupid example. It's like the frame rate gets hiccupy at these parts or whatever.
Sure.
I'm not in this world. I play the video games. I think about the video games, but I don't think, my brain doesn't think as hard about the video games as your brain does.
I can't find it. But I specifically talk about the fact that, okay, so like Joey, I'll just like pull it up on Google real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so here is character art for Bravely Default.
Yeah. I knew exactly what you were talking about with that, yeah.
Let's see some Bravely Default 2 character art. This is a different artist than who did Bravely Default 1, but I'm still gonna, it's relevant to what I'm about to show. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at that shit. Okay, now let's pull up Bravely Default 2 screenshot. All of the cutscenes.
Oh, I just noticed what song was playing.
All of the cutscenes in Bravely Default 2 look like use the in-game models, which are, to be fair, like they're cheaper, right? You know, I'm not upset. Square shouldn't have made high-res models for these guys, but they all look like this.
Yeah. You wouldn't even had to make expressions. You could have just had their portrait pop up, and
Like
it would have been.
the point is, like the cutscenes at this rate, like if you're doing this anyway, if you're lining them up like this for minor conversations,
Yeah.
why are you even bothering to cut to another camera angle? Just put an opaque layer over the gameplay and put character portraits on screen.
Yeah, that's what they.
But that would be, like you said, cheap.
That's an admission.
That's an admission of defeat. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up.
They just style doesn't enter the equation. It's
Yeah,
just
money.
the
Only
graph.
if we spend more money, then we'll be good. Because the one time that we were on top of the heap, the one time we were the second best-selling game in the history of the console was when we spent more money than everybody else.
Yeah, back when I was eating glue as a child.
Oh boy. Also, I should be clear.
Yash Kapoor says, "Will they finish the game today? Let's find out."
I said that's what the description says. The description for this video reads as follows: Will we actually be able to finish Alan Wake, or will we embarrassingly flounder around and need to do a 5th stream? Only way to find out is to tune in, or I guess to check in after the stream is over and see if the title changed.
Circudex says, "The only thing I know about the Persona franchise is the P4 anime." Yeah, and without that anime, there's a good chance we wouldn't be having this conversation
Yeah,
today.
exactly. That's another thing. That was another thing we talked about on the stream is Square has no successful multimedia.
Yeah.
Advent Children is like exclusively for fans. Kingsglaive sucks. Bro, we talked about how Brotherhood was successful. Brotherhood was probably significant. Stuff like Brotherhood probably significantly contributed to how many units were sold for Final Fantasy 15. But I can't talk about what their multimedia strategy should be because I've thought about it a lot, and they need to pay me if they want what I got. Listen, I got juice. Square, if you're watching this, give me a call. I am not just a YouTuber. I am actually like a marketing professional, and I know things. And I'm open for consultation. Onimax Blade said a second ago, to defend Ninja Bunny, I also think there are parts of P5 that aren't great. Oh no, I agree. The game's like 120 hours long.
Yeah.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah, for sure.
But I consider that to be like, you know, like I'm like I buy that game and I just bought like 3 seasons of a TV show. Like some episodes are not going to be winners, and that doesn't bother me if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's about, in this case, it's about the overall quality of it.
Yeah. Yush says Sora wasn't even in Disney Infinity. That's how bad Square's multimedia business practices are. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. That's correct.
It would have been really funny if Sora in Smash didn't have an English voice actor.
If anyone working at Square or Disney Interactive had a modicum of intelligence, Kairi would be an official Disney princess by now.
Yeah.
And Melody of Memory would have been a kid-friendly, mostly platforming adventure with light combat. It would have been Kingdom Hearts for girls. And guess what? It would have sold... guess what? If there was a game with Kairi surrounded by all the Disney princesses on the cover on Nintendo
That would have sold so much.
3 million units.
Yeah.
3 million units to people who have never played a Kingdom Hearts game before.
Listen, you're talking about getting kids into the video games. That's how you get kids into the video games.
That I've already talked about on the show, so I'll give that one away for free, also because it's too late and they already screwed it up.
I I just remember the Kaliningrad General videos that all starred Hans and Gunther.
Actually, I think this fight's going to be more difficult now that you're slightly insane.
Seth Roll says, and Vaughn and Pinello are the least interesting characters in Final Fantasy XII. My appreciation for not Vaughn and Pinello has grown in leaps and bounds over the years.
Okay, where's she at?
And indeed, they got another little like passive boost in my estimation by Final Fantasy XVI.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy XVI
Yeah.
is like a video game long thesis on why Final Fantasy XII absolutely needed Vaughn and Pinello.
Yeah. Aced it because it's not hard.
Sothral says, haven't played it. What's the matter? Is Clive like Bosch without Vaughn or something? Rune Relation says, explain that, curious. Okay, so here's the thing. Final Fantasy XVI and Final Fantasy XII, from two different angles, are both about oligarchs with little regard for the common man who are downtrodden upon the common man and attempting to, like, liberate ourselves from a corrupt system. The problem, all of the main characters of Final Fantasy XVI are educated oligarchs.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Clive learns how tough it is to be a black person because he becomes black.
Oh, God. I never thought... Oh, God.
It's good stuff.
It's such a good game. I haven't even gotten the other health bar yet.
But
which
it's
is
okay,
really
because
goofy.
later on they're like, Clive, your family was really good to black people.
It's so...
It's
that
so
is the
funny.
shittiest thing that happens in the whole game.
Yeah, your family was one of the good Confederates.
You were one of the good ones.
Okay, so fuck it. Spoilers for FF16.
Who gives a shit?
This is because this is a vague endgame thing anyway. This is like a spoiler for the very beginning of the game, and then a really unimportant late game spoiler. It's in a side quest. So at the very beginning of the game,
Oh, there she is. Crap.
The begingy.
at the very
Also,
beginning
if
of
you
the
She
don't
game,
gungied me.
Clive,
Start pressing buttons to take less damage.
I'm mashing buttons.
Clive and
taking
Joshua
your
are the
eyeballs.
sons of the Duke of Rosaria. The Duke of Rosaria is in rough shape these days because the diminishing resources that are affecting all of the kingdoms, and he's trying to figure out how can I do right by my people and run my kingdom efficiently without putting. But I'm gonna have to put all this pressure on my 10-year-old son who's got superpowers. I don't know how I'm gonna handle this. Blah blah blah. And also his bitch of a wife
Is a bitch.
is
She's morally gray because she's very attractive.
and
That's
she,
not.
and she, and
dude,
she really
it is one of the few where that
and she really doesn't like the eldest son with dark hair who has a pet wolf. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how she really,
It's
really
crazy
doesn't
she doesn't like that one because he's a bastard.
He's not a bastard.
He's not even.
It doesn't even. There's never explained why she doesn't like him other than just he didn't get the Phoenix. He got the superpowers, but
he didn't get the superpowers,
Did you
even though
I shouldn't be unfair. No, that's fairly well realized. Actually, I'm being unfair. I'm being uncharitable to that character. She's actually very characterized. Very consistently.
You're allowed to be unfair to that character because it's just Cersei Lannister.
But my point is that she's very consistently characterized. She just wants a kid with superpowers.
Yeah.
That is like her whole thing. Is she wants a cute son with superpowers, and that's all that really matters to her. Things go bad. The Duke is killed, and the duchy is sacked by the evil empire nearby. Now, here's the problem.
Forces of Ganon.
It's never really explained why the empire attacked Rosaria.
Never.
It's never really explained.
They're evil, Jacob.
We are to assume it's because they want land. Because that's the only motivation that's ever provided, land and crystals. There are reasons we could get into about why it doesn't really make sense, a lot of the actions they take, but that's not important for right now. What matters is that, the very near the ending of the game, there is a side quest that you can find, where you can find the will that was written by Clive's dad.
Yeah.
And Clive's dad wrote a will that said, when my sons take over, all of the slaves in my nation will be freed, and all of these other progressive things are going to happen. So
It's so brave.
am very cool, and you should. And here's my thing, right?
It's so brave.
If
that
they
he
had
wrote
made
in his
that
will.
the tension at the beginning of the game,
It would have been fine.
Yeah.
well, no, then that's also a reason to be invaded.
Yes,
if he's
exactly.
like, I'm going to free.
Yeah, he's
going to
be hyper progressive.
If I'm going to free all the bearers and give
Which
them
is a
rights,
mode, yeah.
and I'm going to create a college where we're going to study alternative energy sources to crystals, and his racist wife who hates all the slaves, and the nearby nations who are threatened by this liberalism,
Yeah.
teamed up to kill him because he was too
Team
radical,
up together and murder him.
then it would the story would make more sense.
No, shut up.
No, it's fine. Also,
Excuse
this
me, are
is
you the
after the
princess?
witches. This is the room where you would get the thing that lets you have runes.
And
but
it
because you
also
already
and
have
it
them,
also would
I got
give
the thing.
Clive way more reason to decide to burn everything down because
Yeah.
he watched a good man try to do kind things, and the world said "fuck that."
Yeah, but
and
in reality,
then you go. Then the only radical option you have to take radical action in a world that is this resistant to change.
Yeah.
It would have made the entire story better if instead of passing the buck to his kids, he had just been doing that.
no,
Yeah.
shut up. It's a great game because
Because I really like the girl.
I really like Girl, who has no character except that she didn't
Except that
like
she-
being a slave, which, yeah, fair, I guess.
That's my favorite character.
She's so well characterized. Tell me anything you want to know about dwarves.
Benedicta's storyline was good. After
Yeah,
she dies, the game
falls apart. Dude, it was so funny because I thought it was just going to turn into, oh, we're going to have all these lieutenants that we fight, and they made one of them kind of interesting, and it's like, oh, she's the first one, and she has the most going on.
And that's also one of the best encapsulations of the game's themes, because basically we find out that she was like an enslaved sex worker, and Sid saw value in her and rescued her and took care of her, right? But at the time
Ouchies.
they were both working for Big Bad Guy Man, and eventually Sid goes, Bad Guy Man is big bad and I'm going to leave. And Benedicta throws her lot in with Big Bad Guy because Sid's vision of radical kindness and equality in a world this messed up seems less likely to work than what Barnabas is pitching. Like, staying with the dude who's going to use power to rule seems like the safer bet than going with the guy who...
Ninja Bunny. Why wasn't her new child the main antagonist? Because they were just doing a Tom and Lannister thing.
Yeah.
Because it was what happened in Game of Thrones. And look, it's like Tommen. Do you
It's
remember?
like what happened-
Do you remember how Cersei acts?
Do you
Oh,
remember
hey,
what
look at
happened
this
in Game of
cutscene.
Thrones?
You remember how her new husband just acts like Tywin?
Let's watch
like,
this
regardless of context?
Let's watch this cutscene.
Okay.
Hey, you got the Canehurst summons, and look at this. Your summons. You're summonsing a horse or two.
Yeah, 16's bad, Ninja Bunny. That is one of your takes that I wholeheartedly agree with. Like we always say, half of your takes are incredibly based and the other half suck. This is one of the former.
I don't think it's a bad game.
No, it's a bad game.
No, it's not a bad game. People forget what the term bad game is these days because we're drowning in so many 7 out of 10s. It's like, it's not a bad game, it is a disappointing
Okay,
game.
fine. It's a 5 out of 10.
It's a disappointing game that it's got fun, polished gameplay that falls flat because there's no challenge to really use it on, and it's got a story that drags its feet and doesn't
Which
go
Joey
Don't
and I-
you love that the difficulty of all of the harder encounters of that game is how big the health bar is?
I'd like the big health bar at that point, though, because everything else is so boring that at least I'm focusing
Joey
on
and I
doing
had a long
something.
conversation about the game design of 16 in the final Alan Wake stream.
Oh, Ninja Bunny, you didn't like that the final cutscene of FF16 was just FF7 again?
Be quiet. Shut the hell up.
It was just FF7 again.
I said we were going to do minor spoilers. I'm spoiling the one thing about the dad because it's unimportant. I think it's
You wanted Castlevania. You're at Castlevania.
Castlevania!
yeah. This is actually Dracula's castle. This is Dracula.
Look to your left. Go back.
They told
the
I
lamp.
had to take 2 madmen's knowledges to make myself less mad.
These statues are about to come to life, aren't they?
I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you.
Popping blood vials and yarn 'em like there ain't no tomorrow.
This is brand new, fresh content for you. Why would I spoil anything?
Kong tent, if you will. Oh, God!
Benedicta
They do a lot of damage.
thinks that
They do a lot of damage, huh?
Sid's vision of radical kindness and equality seems less viable than conquering
Yeah, it's not pragmatic.
the entire world, and Benedicta's mental breakdown happens when she realizes that Barnabas only values her for her magical abilities, and Sid valued her when she had nothing, and she just burned that bridge with him forever, and that's when she breaks down.
Yeah, it's good.
It's super clean, it's super tight. First 10 hours of 16, really good.
Yeah.
Then it kind of falls
Dude,
apart.
I was so hyped when we got to the Garuda fight, and then after that it was just like, Oh gosh! And then I went and played Heaven's Word, and I went, wait, this writer can write?
It's crazy. It's crazy how like those games are like worlds apart from one another in terms of what they're trying to do and how successful they are at it. As much as Final Fantasy XVI is just like constant misery porn, you feel you feel kind of detached from what life is like for the common man in this world.
Yep.
You know what it's like for slaves, and you know what it's like for the hoers, for the poor hoers, but you don't ever really see like normal people. The only people that you get to know are folks who are hiding in your secret treehouse with you.
I have a treehouse.
So I find it in like it is so centering for Final Fantasy XII that it starts with Vaughn and what street level life looks like under Imperial occupation.
Yeah, it's huge.
And as much as 12 has a lot of writing problems, I think
I felt very vindicated. Sorry to cut you off, but I felt very vindicated when recently it was Matsuno was interviewed and was like, "No, I never intended for Bosch to be the main character. I don't know how that started."
Yeah, it's hard to say because every now and then Matsuno like tweets stuff, and I'm like, "Is that revisionist history? Does he really mean that?" But no, it seems like the Bosch was meant to be the main character thing might have just been a bunch of people talking. Might have been like some source guy on Reddit.
Dude, that's my favorite source.
Dude, trust me though.
Bro.
Source,
Bro, I thought a lot about
works
it.
At Square.
Oh god. Okay,
Source,
we're running past these
Source,
assholes.
my uncle ran into Hironobu Sakaguchi at a Benihana's in Honolulu.
Continue talking about Matsuno. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I cut myself off. We were talking about FF16. Yeah, Ninja Bunny said FF16 is a really good game, and then literally exactly halfway through, everything good about it goes away, and it becomes the worst game ever made.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
That's what's incredible about it is how fast it nosedives.
Mm-hmm. It is funny.
Well, it's not a direct nosedive because there's not an inciting incident. It just becomes a
one take that I
burger.
disagree with about like the way that it switches over is that a lot of people say that game was good. When it was about, like, the politics.
No, it wasn't.
And when it shifts to the JRPG stuff, that's when it gets stupid.
No, it was bad before that.
The politics were ill-conceived from minute one, and I was actually much more interested in the JRPG stuff they were teasing, and then it turns out the JRPG stuff was also uninteresting. Yeah. So the game
that was the thing. It was like, whenever it started cutting to, I guess I'm not allowed to say the character name.
That looks like Lady.
Because it's a spoiler to say the character name. Mm-hmm. But when it kept cutting to character name and his assistant, who were running around doing the JRPG plot, I was like, please just show up and tell me that the JRPG plot is decent because the political part sucks ass.
And then they show up and they explain the
that
JRPG
it's terrible.
plot. Well, no, they basically say, so here's the stuff that you, the viewer, have already ascertained, and we have no further information. Yeah. So what the hell have you guys been doing this whole time?
So there's some ghosts now.
Ghosto.
Arigato gozaimasu.
There's a chest on the first floor somewhere.
Okay, cool.
These guys kind of remind me of that lady we saw in white with the blood around that spot that she has.
Kinda.
I mean, I don't think that it has anything actually to do with that. It just the dress kind of reminds me of that.
That man's knowledge.
The no leg.
My crib is full of ghosts. Who's lighting all these candles? The only thing I'm lighting is the end of this runt.
Stop making Dracula Flow references, Jacob. Keep talking about 16 like
the
a real
hunters
man.
came up in my castle and tried to persecute me. Had to hit them with a 45. Ha ha. The cops came by and told me I had purchased my marijuana legally. They didn't care about the 15 unregistered assault rifles I had in the back.
Stop, please. Just talk about 16, George.
No, we can't talk about 16.
No, I was done talking about 16.
This isn't the 16 discussion.
Other than again,
Another
I
chest.
think that like it really. As I was playing that game and I realized how little connection I felt to the setting, I realized how important Vaughn and Pinello actually were to there are normal people in this world who need to be helped. And I know that may sound insane because Final Fantasy XVI is about freeing an underclass from slavery, and even normal people, to be fair, are suffering massively underneath oligarchs who don't care about anything but their own consolidation of their power.
Though.
But that's exactly, is we're mostly told about it. We don't really get to spend a lot of time with those people. And just like the focus always seems to be a little divided, and I really wish that there had been like somebody to come along and say like I said, it felt a little weird that Clive learns about the plight of the black man by becoming black, and then he's like, I'm going to fix it.
Dress.
Anyway, I think that the
There's a
grounded,
guru right there.
normal dude perspective that we get from Vaughn and Pinello is incredibly important to the successes of Final Fantasy XII.
Imagine being that bad at the game.
I think that Final Fantasy XII has a lot of structural problems, and I think that there are definitely some places where the plot weakens.
Yeah, the entire second half. for instance.
Everything from after you get to Arcadia is kind of weak. It feels like they ran out of money.
I think Dracula Laboratory in and of itself is okay.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is it at that point we get to it? There is so much
he's
walking.
stuck.
There is so much walking across the map between each individual plot point.
Yeah.
And the plot points that we get to
Are
no, they're haha.
Go to the next place.
You heated the key with your ass and cooled it with your
Yeah.
piss. Now go to the next location.
Thank you, Snake.
Anyway, to loop way, way, way back to Yasumi Matsuno. The trouble with Yasumi Matsuno as a game director is that he likes RPGs too much.
There's the beginning.
Yep.
He likes what?
He likes RPGs too much.
Yep.
He
will
loves too much.
He will load down his games with so much
bullshit.
numerical and mechanical bloat that it becomes actively detrimental to the experience. You have to deal with so many interlocking systems and numerical values that it becomes obnoxious to play the games effectively. I've been playing Final Fantasy Tactics Reborn. Basically,
Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Tactics Ogre Reborn. Basically, since it came out. But there was a point where I stopped playing it for like a year because I got to a fight where I couldn't do more than 1 damage to enemies who had like 600 plus health unless I was using special moves that take multiple turns to charge up. So I couldn't do anything. And the answer wasn't level up more because there's a level cap in that game. So I was clearly just building my guys incorrectly, or I was going in with the wrong elemental affinities or whatever. I forget exactly how I overcame that. I may have been like 1 level below or something like that. I've gotten to the point where basically whenever the level cap increases, I just go to a practice match where my characters can't die permanently. I switch them all to AI, and I just let the match go until it's over, and then I just keep that going until that team is leveled up. Then I rotate through the rest of my team.
Let's rotate.
Yasumi Matsuno in many ways is the wet dream of the game director of the guys who are like, I hate long cutscenes, I hate walking simulators, because Yasumi Matsuno has an intimate, like, I guess, awareness of the fact that he's making a video game first. So he tends to do lengthy stretches of gameplay with cutscenes sprinkled sporadically. And those cutscenes, though, are extremely efficient, extremely focused, really punchy, and they get a lot done super duper quick.
Yep.
He's one of the more efficient video game writers out there. He handles really like clear characterization, and fairly complicated plot beats very quickly. But he's like, I'm making games for hardcore RPG fans. And I guess hardcore RPG fans, to his mind, are people who, the era of D&D when you did not play it as the, kind of what Critical Role has popularized it as, which is, the collaborative storytelling with your friends. But
you played it for the numbers.
You played it because you were in the math decathlon.
Based.
And so it becomes really annoying that like you can just get yourself into no-win scenarios in his games sometimes. And this is something that I think is interesting about Matsuno. Again, with certain people who are like, ugh, Final Fantasy VII Remake sucks because there are parts where you just have to walk and the characters are talking. If I wanted to watch a movie, I would watch a movie. Or, ugh, why doesn't... Hideo Kojima's the funniest one because his games are so gamey. But even like, ugh, Neil Druckmann should just make movies if he wants to make movies. It's like, well, the logical extreme of that is something like Matsuno, where he is extremely game design focused and sporadic little cutscenes here and there.
Okay, so where do I go now?
Go back out the window.
Okay, got you.
As strong as Matsuno's writing is, it is often kneecapped by the fact that it has to be in the types of games that he is designing.
Seriously.
I mean, like, I think it's a good example of the kind of liberties you're afforded by making something more like an Uncharted or a Last of Us, which is that in RPGs, which are the games about telling stories, very often the only, like, forward way to deal with something in an RPG is by killing it. Like, that's the only real, like, combat option, is walking through a room and killing. That's the only game. That's the only verb at all, is walking through a room and killing things. Like RPGs, JRPGs almost never have like complex dialogue trees or like puzzles to solve, like Western RPGs sometimes have. Which means like there are a lot of instances in Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre where like the main character actively does not want to fight.
And they have to fight anyway.
They have to fight because, well, something's got to happen in the story where they got to fight. So, like, I guess they got to fight. And again, like, a problem with Matsuno's storytelling is that as efficient as he tends to be, it also is, like, he's really focused on it being a video game, which is good if you...
You did, but you ran past him.
I ran past him this time,
It's good if you want, you know, that much gameplay.
Yeah.
Reawaken.
It's good if you want a lot of gameplay, but the trouble is that if you are if you're really engaged with the story, then very often it'll be like, as from a game design standpoint, it's like, well, the player probably wants a lot of combat, so I'm going to put 4-hour-long fights between this and the next story beat.
I still can't believe.
You know, this reminds me quite a bit of a certain mobile game I once played called,
is it called Fate Grand Order?
So I've talked about how the early story of that game is like miserable. Like it's some of the worst slop I've ever experienced in my fucking life. Mm-hmm. And later on, it's like, wow, they got the guy that wrote the good stories to write the new good stories. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like some of the worst examples of it was early on. There was a mentality of it's like, well, in this, like there cannot be dialogue only nodes. Every single node that has dialogue has to have combat. So you will run into instances of people literally talking. And it's like, oh, hang on a minute. Some wild animals are coming after us. Let's fight. Okay, we did that. So anyway, continuing dialogue. It's the worst.
That's
shit
good.
in
No,
the
that's
world.
good right there.
It took them like a year and a half before they realized, we can actually just like make no combat like story nodes and just like have people talk.
That's
because everyone plays Fate for the story.
That's crazy. Everybody plays it for the swimsuit lady.
Nobody's playing it for the game. Nobody's playing it for the combat. So I guess they are playing it for the story.
Anybody that plays it for the combat is lying to themselves. It's the worst. It's the worst mobile game.
I give this knack. Oh crap!
You got more bullets now.
I need more bullets.
Anyway,
I think him in Fate mention. Let's go.
I want to die.
I want to play with Disco Elysium.
Because Ninja Buddy said best way to let permadeath happen is to take the Disco Elysium approach, where treating failure as a story branch, not a fail state.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think Matsuno is a fantastic writer, and in many ways he leans into things that a lot of people are like, I want games to be like this, not like this. But I think it also shows the no, maybe not the logical extreme. No, let's say the logical extreme of someone who really, really wants to tell a story, but also is very focused on making a video game first. It doesn't make it for a bad experience necessarily, but it does create problems in an otherwise like stalwart narrative that would not be there otherwise, which I think is worth discussing.
I don't think there's anything good in this.
The mimics.
Do I remember? Is there nothing good in this?
The mimics.
Yeah, I think that's a blood tinge.
Anyway, Matsuno has not worked a lot since Final Fantasy XII. He frequently comes back for like re-releases of games that he worked on to supervise things. He made a really interesting.
This doesn't seem good.
He made an interesting, very experimental, like micro RPG for the 3DS eShop called Crimson Shroud, which I almost beat until I got to the ending and I hit what I like to call the Matsuno number wall, which is where suddenly, even though I was doing okay a minute ago, the numbers turn absolutely upside down and I am mathematically incapable of winning. And it's time to leave and do something else.
You got a wig. Wow, it gives you...
Oh, gosh.
It gives you hair.
There's a guy on your right, too. It's hard for me to look at something like FF16 that does have so much, like, legitimate achievement and effort and artistic merit and polish to it and go, this is a bad video game, when you have to remember that even by the... It's so funny that people talk about Sonic 06 being, quote, the worst game ever made, because what it actually is the lowest quality video game played by the most people.
Yeah.
Sonic 06 is the worst game per capita.
That's a pretty funny way of putting it.
Even Sonic...
Oh my gosh.
Even Sonic 06 is nowhere close to the nadir of bad video games.
No.
It's not even as bad as Sonic Boom.
I was about to say Sonic Boom is worse than Sonic 06, and Sonic Boom is nowhere close to the worst video game ever made.
Bonk.
Because it functions.
Bonk.
Sometimes. You know?
Sometimes.
You can get through the game with a little bit of endurance.
Yeah.
Bonk.
Like there's I remember a poll once of what's the worst game of all time, and the two finalists in it were Big Rigs Off-Road Trucking,
of course,
and Sonic 06, and it's the power.
One of these is not like the other.
There is a power gap between Big Rigs Off-Road Trucking and
not
Sonic 06.
I thought that was the sword I could blow up.
Yeah, you're out of stamina.
Explode.
Back off a bit.
Oh, come on!
Don't worry about it.
I love Souls game explosions because they're balanced and fair.
You should
and
use.
readable.
Gosh!
Hold on. What is
Every
that? What
single
is that
game.
healing vial you got from the lady who was a? Who
Oh,
was an
shut up.
alien?
Well,
No, seriously. Would
The
that help?
problem is that he'd have to dig in his inventory. Cause
Yeah.
Isn't it at the
hard.
top of his inventory?
Gosh,
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's the very top of his
it
inventory.
is. It definitely is. Where's the sword?
He's on it, isn't he?
Where is
Maybe
it?
not.
It's gone. I think it already activated.
No, it stays
You
in the
can
ground.
destroy it, but I think it's glitched.
Oh my god! Then I can't win this time.
it'll go away.
Will it?
You simply gotta deal with it.
It's not going away, Joey.
It's once all the swords are used up. it'll go
Well,
away.
if you had simply watched Fate Unlimited Blade Works,
Fuck
you
off.
you'd know a thing or two about swords.
It is fun, but what's funnier to me is the one success of 15, which is the fact that it has been now almost 10 years since there has been a Final Fantasy game, a new IP Final Fantasy game, that was praised for having good characters.
Sorry, how long?
Almost 10 years.
Well, yeah, that's when 15.
Because that's when it came out.
Yep.
And,
I don't know.
And
Some
16's
people-
characters sucked balls.
Some people really like Clive, and I think
because
they're-
people are stupid.
I think
It's fine. They're
I think
allowed to
there's-
have bad taste.
I think there's some stuff to like there. I have never seen, so maybe they don't exist, but if they do, I'm baffled by Jill fans.
They exist.
They exist because
They-
she's pretty.
I'm baffled by you.
They exist, and maybe this is very mean to say, but they exist.
Oh no!
Woo!
Are you telling me so that he's gonna hit an invisible wall when he gets through the end of the map, and I can no longer stagger him, but he can still hit me
Hey,
immediately?
Joshua, you didn't waste any blood vials.
It's true.
So it doesn't
I know.
matter. You just have
No.
to walk back there.
To my understanding, Jill fans exist because they're the kind that are like the heavy shippers.
Yeah.
And they don't care about anything other than, but they are cute together.
They're not.
They're
though,
not cute together.
Well,
at all.
I thought they were going to be cute together for a minute when she first showed up.
But Clive has big boobs,
He does.
and she's a girl that likes him.
Best scene between them is one of the first scenes that they have
Yes.
together where they're sleeping in a barn and they have a little heart-to-heart. That's one of the last good scenes in that
that is
game.
the last
We
good
can't.
scene
We
between
cannot.
them.
We can't keep talking about 16.
Yes,
That
we
was-
can.
No, we
We
can't.
can't.
That was all I was going to say.
We can't.
I
You
was
guys
done.
are cowards.
That was
can't
literally my
because
only
we could-
comment.
16 suck my
Even
ball.
just talking about Jill, I couldn't remember her
just
name.
one ball.
Oh man.
That was all I was going to say, because I was still freaking talking about, FF, tactics and whatever earlier. I didn't even finish talking
We
about that.
need this Fortnite discussion.
We
We need to get it out of our system so that we can. It's like
I just shit out my ass.
FF16 is a ghost that keeps possessing us, and we
Yep.
have to put it to rest.